There's a mole in the CIA. We need you in Berlin. No one can know why you're there. Not the chief. Not his deputies. Not a soul.
Who am I looking at?
Everyone.
Anything else?
Welcome to Berlin.
Hey, good evening, Richard. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for being on the Red Booth Show. Well, everyone, we are here with Richard Armitage, who stars as Daniel Miller in the epic series Berlin Station that's just coming out on iTunes. How would you describe the show?
Basically, it's a story about the CIA station in Berlin, and I play a character called Daniel Miller, who is really sent in undercover to investigate a potential whistleblower called Thomas Shaw, loosely based on Edward Snowden. And it's really seeing how does the CIA function when it's under attack from within, and how does one man who is a patriot call into question his own agency. So it really felt politically relevant when we shot it, but in the interim, it's become much more relevant, I suspect.
Definitely, especially with everything that's been happening with Snowden. So that makes me wonder, does your character in the show sympathize with this person?
Well, here's the interesting thing from an actor's point of view. Daniel has to have an opinion as to whether he condones what Thomas Shaw is doing at the expense of his agency, and I had to bring my own kind of opinions on that to the role also. So, you know, he's torn between being a public servant and a patriot and being a human being, and you know, seeing both perspectives, which I think we probably all could do with a little bit of at the moment.
Definitely. I think that is a real struggle that a lot of people in that field end up facing. And actually it makes me wonder what kind of trouble you're going to get into as an undercover agent in the season.
Well, as Daniel really guides the audience and all of the characters through the pathway to finding Thomas Shaw, he really stumbles on some difficulties. You know, it becomes clear to him that were he to expose the whistleblower, that he would also be implicating himself. So it's the writers describe it as him descending into a kind of rabbit hole of sort of dissent and deceit, and really, you know, that's what they wrote. It's it's a little bit death-defying, but I suspect as we go into season 2 that the stakes are higher. I think the world has changed since season 1 and season 2, so I'm excited and a little bit nervous about what we're going to be talking about next time.
Oh wow, so you're already into season 2 then?
We're about to start. We go back at the beginning of April, so I'm kind of gathering my source information now to step foot into season 2, yeah.
4 coming your way.
Got it, thanks.
Bitte verlassen Sie das Gebäude. Bitte langsam. Nicht rennen.
That's fantastic. Well, you're really well known for how much you prepare for your roles. So I was wondering, what did you do to prepare to play Daniel?
I really looked at a lot of accounts of what the CIA was, and it varies broadly across, you know, across different people that have worked for the agency. I could feel that there was a party line that some people were treading, and then there was people of dissent that wanted to expose what the CIA did. We also worked with Bob Bayer, who was a great source for us to find truthfully what the function of the CIA is and was and will be. And I really took it from there, and what I wanted to create was somebody who felt very real, who was flawed, who was potentially not going to succeed in his job. I didn't want to create a sort of false superhero that could run around with a gun. So that was the goal, and it's still work in progress. I don't know where Daniel's going to go in the second season, but he's definitely flawed and corruptible simply because of his belief in humanity.
Well, that's a good flaw in my opinion. So this mentor that you worked with, did he used to work in the CIA?
Yeah, he wrote quite a lot of literature about, he was a CIA operative, and he's written some incredible books about it. So it was probably as the best source that we could find to talk about this.
Well, actually in the show there's a lot of other really great actors too that you work with. So would you like to tell us a cool story about one of the scenes that you played with them?
I mean, so many. I mean, the cast is amazing. We have Richard Jenkins as the head of the CIA, Michelle Forbes, Leland Orser, Tamlin Tomita. So yeah, I mean, one of my favorite scenes was a scene which we shot in the middle of the night on a very famous bridge in Berlin. I think it's called the Bridge of Spies, and it's a scene with Richard Jenkins, and he's basically blowing my cover, and it was like being on a movie set. I totally was sort of indulged by him, and an amazing actor to work with, and Rhys Ifans as well. I mean, a lot of my work is with Rhys, who plays Hector DeJean, and Rhys was playing a very dark character, but as a person he has a lot of humor, so we did spend a lot of time laughing. So he's a great character and a great actor.
Yeah, he usually plays comedic roles, so in this one I know he's playing a serious role with you.
Yeah, with a little sprinkling of comedy in there. So.
Well, actually, speaking of acting, and it's a question I love to ask all of my guests on my show, and you've had so much success in this field, so I would love to find out from you if you have any advice or words of wisdom for aspiring actors.
I suppose one of the things I would tell myself when things weren't going so well was just always make sure that you're ready to work when the opportunity arises, and recognize the opportunity. So staying, reading books and staying kind of connected into the news and keeping yourself physically in shape so that, you can kind of leap when you're asked to, I think was one of the pieces of advice I would give myself.
Well, you've really been skyrocketing up the charts as an actor. I know that you were in The Hobbit, you were in Captain America, you're in hit shows in the UK, like Spooks and Robin Hood. So I wanted to ask you, what do we have to look forward to from you as well in the future?
I'm actually finishing working on Ocean's 8. I'll be wrapped this week. So that's a really exciting project for me. I get to play something which is kind of a little bit comedic. So I've very much enjoyed that, and it's an extraordinary cast of women. So hopefully we'll see that in 2018.
That's very exciting. I know that there's going to be a lot of people looking forward to seeing you in that. And also, of course, in Berlin Station on iTunes, and in the season 2 that you're working on as well.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's been really great talking with you, and have a great night.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you. Take care. And thank you, everyone, for watching my interview with Richard Armitage, the star of Berlin Station. And you can always tune in to watch The Red Booth Show every Saturday night at midnight to get to know actors, filmmakers, musicians, and more. So thanks for watching.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college, college goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Hi, Kathy Mitchell here with my new red copper cookware. The revolutionary pan made with non-stick ceramic and super strong copper. Guaranteed to stay scratch-free forever. It's lightweight yet super strong, so it won't scratch, peel, or chip into your food. Red copper is a baking pan with a handle. It goes into the oven up to 500 degrees. And everything slides right out. Cook my healthy, crispy chicken fingers with little or no fat or oil. Chop steak and onion for a melty Philly cheesesteak. Absolutely no sticking. Or whisk eggs without a mixing bowl. Truly a time saver. Call now and receive my 10-inch red copper pan for just $19.99. Plus, get my recipe book free. Call now and you can double the offer and receive a second set. Plus, our new Forever Sharp copper knife. Just pay a separate fee. Razor sharp and food slides right off. An incredible value. Call now.
Call 1-800-488-9190 to get your special offer, Red Copper Pan. Call now or go to redcopperpan.com. So call 1-800-488-9190. Call now.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college, college goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
we sitting on... What is this?
Air mattress.
Why are we sitting on an air mattress?
There's nowhere else to sit.
They were supposed to get this place outfitted.
Yeah.
It would look better outfitted.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to fire somebody.
Okay. Maybe get me a chair, too.
Well, yeah.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Terry. How are you today?
Really well.
Doing fine.
Well, everyone, we are here with two of the stars from the new original series on Amazon called Patriot, Michael Dorman and Terry O'Quinn. And Michael, you play one of the heroes of the show, but I would say that he seems to get into a lot of unlucky situations, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd say that he's kind of the anti-hero. Very reluctant, but he has an absolute admiration for his father, who is played by Terry O'Quinn. And Terry's character kind of sends my character, John, out on this mission to basically save the world, in a sense. And the plan that they hatch, it slowly unravels, and they're left to sort of, attempt to conceal this plan that's gone wrong. And I guess there's a lot of joy in watching this character deal with the pressure and then deal with all the obstacles that present themselves along his journey.
Yeah, definitely. And that's definitely happening to him already in this first show. And I also found it to be very interesting that Terry, you play Tom Cavanaugh, the senior intelligence officer, and you also happen to be his father. Do you think that that plays a big part in the show?
Yeah, I think it's where the story begins. At the very outset, I'm the director of intelligence for some Department of State or something in the U.S. government, and I need to send someone. I want to send someone in to influence the Iranian election, and I know that the best person to send is this guy, my son, who is one of my operatives for my intelligence department, and so because I know him and I trust him and I know his capabilities, that sets the whole ball rolling.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't usually see this kind of family element in these undercover movies, but I think that it definitely plays a big part in this show. And also, I think you must have a lot of conflict sending your son into these dangerous situations.
Yeah, it's true, but the pragmatical side of me says if I'm going to send an agent there, I want to send the best one, and even if it's my son, I'm going to ask him to do anything I would ask anyone else to do, and expect him to do it well. So that that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and you also have a brother character that comes in and starts to get involved, and he seems to play a support character for all the trouble that John's getting into.
Yeah. The character, Edward, is played by Michael Chernus, who is a complete thoroughbred in the craft. And he basically comes in to sort of lend a hand to John, even though he doesn't quite know exactly what it is John does. There's still a curtain there, he hasn't peeked behind it yet.
Yeah, he's going to be a beloved character for people who really like the show. They're going to smile every time he comes on.
Yeah.
That's great. And actually, there's this really special quality about your characters as well, which is that John actually plays folk music on the show. And there's even a scene where you both play and sing together. And I was wondering, how much did you guys have to practice for that?
Not too much.
I had to dust off a few cobwebs. I'd sort of sat my guitar in its case for many years. But
also,
when
you're a singer?
When I first met Terry, we both had our guitars there, and I learned a lot from playing with Terry from the get-go. But I'd played before in a past life.
Yeah, and it was easy. Stephen called me before we started shooting and said, "I'd like you to play this song." And I said, he said, "Have you heard it?" And I said, "I know it. I know it very well. I used to play it for my mother, and my mother loved that. My mother loved that song." So
it's Townes Van Zandt.
Townes Van Zandt.
So
If I Needed You, and my mother died from Alzheimer's finally, and that's one of the things that she remembered. Long into her disease, so it was pretty sweet. And
it was a great way for us to connect offset as well. Just sitting around playing music together, and then you see that manifest on the screen. Everything that we're doing there it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, they just recorded it. They just shot it on the set, just like we didn't have to go and record it anywhere. We just played the scene, so that was pretty cool.
That's great. No fake hands in the scene.
This guy wants $10 million. It's been difficult to pay him though because of the sanctions, but they're going to find a way to pay him right quick if Wally wins. And as soon as it's in his bank account, he'll do whatever he needs to do, and there they go. Are you good?
I am. Yeah.
All right, good.
It's nice to see you.
If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the sea for to ease your pain.
Nights forlorn when the morning's born, and the morning's born with the light of love. You will miss sunrise.
And also, it's really funny. Well, I guess we'll leave this to the audience to see this, but it's when he plays this music throughout his trips and things.
Yeah, those are brilliant.
The songs kind of become his friends, you know, because he's on the road and, you know, he's undercover and he doesn't really have anyone that he can talk to at all other than his father. There's no real contact, so he starts playing these songs as a way of dealing with, I guess, the pressure and the fact that he's got some sort of undiagnosed mental illness. But, you know, in those songs, he's very truthful. So, you know, that can...
Dangerously so.
Like it's kind of like watching him, you know, teetering on the edge of ruining the whole operation purely by, you know, what he's singing about.
Yes. And actually, there's even this funny scene where Terry, you're not really supposed to be doing this, but you come and visit him on location, and there's this really awkward moment in the hallway. Would you like to tell us about it?
Well, I think it's a sign of how badly things have gone awry that I show up and try to do what I can to help and direct him from there. And yeah, there's a scene in the hallway where I'm afraid we might be recognized, and so I don't know what else to do but give him a very, very long, uncomfortable hug.
We just stand there in a warm embrace.
But it's
damage control.
It's typical of what Steven does in the show. He just makes situations arise which can only be dealt with in the most unconventional ways.
Yeah, which is where we find the humor in the show. You know, it's pretty funny to watch how these guys deal with these situations.
John Taylor. What?
This guy's coming, this guy named Leslie.
Well, I'm a known figure a little bit. We shouldn't be seen together.
Yeah, we're pretty together here, too.
Just keep embracing me. I'm just gonna sort of...
Yeah, but then we're gonna be embracing for like 3 minutes. He already thinks I'm weird.
What's the alternative?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, I wanted to ask you, what was it about Patriot that first attracted you to the show? And also, how did you get the parts, like the story behind that?
Stephen called me, and once Michael was there were people cast and asked me if I might be interested in it, and I was immediately interested in it because it was Stephen Conrad, and then they sent me the script, and I wanted to do it right away.
Very cool. Well, this first show really gives you an idea of the dynamics of Patriot, and I wanted to ask you, what do we have to look forward to in terms of the story in season 1?
It's kind of more of the same. I mean, essentially, we sort of explore, you know, how difficult it can be from moving one entity from A to B. In this story, it's a bag of money, and just how many things can go wrong. And so over the course of the series, we're basically following this bag getting moved from one point to another, and everything that unfolds, it's kind of told in a really close proximity of time. And the joy in our show, I guess, is from watching this guy deal with these horrible situations that arise.
Yes, and he actually is keeping a straight face throughout all of it, which is pretty impressive. Well, I'm very excited about Patriot, and I just wanted to end off with a question for both of you about how you got to where you're at in your acting careers and advice for aspiring actors.
Act.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah, and sponge.
Act,
yeah.
and don't miss an opportunity to. And when you come to a door, if it opens, be prepared to have something to offer, and be professional.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. It's been really great talking with you both, and I really appreciate you being on my show, and I hope you have a great night.
Thanks,
you too, Kimberly. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, thanks everybody for watching my interview with Michael Dorman and Terry O'Quinn, two of the stars of the new Amazon original series, Patriot. And you can always watch The Red Booth Show every Saturday night at midnight to get to know other actors and filmmakers and musicians and more. Thanks for watching.